And that's what happens if you let me name my own characters. Anyway, hello everyone, I'm Nick from nextstepnick.com, and today we're going to talk about Antares a little bit. So, with this, I always try to remain objective if I've received a game from a developer. So this code was given to me through a site, so thank you very much for that. It is very much appreciated. I haven't purchased the game, but just as you watch through this, I just want you to remember the price for this is £10. Just under £10. It's on sale at the moment. Normally it'd be more than £10. There's a spelling mistake on that page that you can see right now, which annoys me. But tiny little mistake, right? Tiny little mistake. But I'm going to be honest, I was a bit confused about this because I went to the Steam page, because I always tend to have a quick look just to see if maybe there's like an optimization issue, maybe there's a better way to run the game, just to see what other people are thinking. And I just want you to remember that throughout this, all the reviews are positive. So this screen blur here is, well, you can't turn screen blur off, but you're going to see me messing with some different sort of settings here. Reason being is my computer can run some pretty high-tech stuff, you know, I do all right. This game I didn't think would push me, but literally, even on the lowest point, I mean, I'll turn this right down to low in a minute, it's a really weird game to run. The optimization isn't great, and I didn't know why that was. I wasn't sure why I was getting this weird stuttering. I mean, there's a lot of things as well that don't help. There's like a teleportation mechanic as well, where you can teleport around. That, well, it's a dash, but it's basically a teleport. There's a slow motion as well, and it does not help. It does not help. It makes this run so messily at times, you know. And then there's stuff like this filter you can see now on the screen. Just constant stuff in your face and bits and pieces, and the game really suffers for it. I wasn't sure why that was, but then when I looked on the Steam page, I realised that this entire game was developed by one person. Now, fair enough. Fair enough to you. Props to you for bringing this all together. But at the same time, if you're charging £1, £2, that's totally fine. You know, if this is a development project for yourself, you're charging even as much as £4. You know, I mean, fair enough, bit steep, but you know, I can see why it's a labour of love and you want to make a couple of pounds back. I understand that. But when you're charging £10, if you think about the other kind of games you can get for £10, and I'm going to be honest, I was playing here, for example, and I thought, oh, you know, it's a bit frame ratey, it's a bit jumpy, it's not well optimised, fair enough, but it's at that stage where things are going to get better, and it's building up the atmosphere quite well. It feels kind of eerie and unnerving, like here I'm using the slow time mechanic there. But then you start to see the enemies, and that's when the eeriness disappears. And it's just, and now maybe you made these yourself from scratch. If you did, fair play to you, but they do kind of look like assets. You're going to see them pop up in a minute, and as soon as you see them, you're going to think, oh, because now you're going to think, okay, kind of eerie. That's what I was thinking. Quite strange, weird, exploring this space station, trying to figure out what's happened, and also move your way through the plot, which isn't that clear, but fair enough. And then you see them, like, at this point even, I was walking through thinking, wow, this is a nicely made world. You know, you've got like this hub that you keep coming back to. You've got this ability later I'll show you where you can upgrade your gear, you can upgrade your weapons, upgrade your damage, that kind of stuff. You can do things like that. As far as I know, it's only this one gun for the whole game, but you can modify things as you play, and that seemed kind of fun. And like I say, the world, to be honest, reminded me a lot of stuff like Prey, where it was kind of, it looked futuristic and sci-fi, but at the same time there was this grim, Dead Space-esque thing about it where, you know, everything is clean, but then it's kind of juxtaposed by the blood and the gore, and then this happens. So here are the enemies. They're just rambly skeleton people, and blood spurts out of them. And the problem is that they don't jump you, they don't seem to be scripted to kind of unnerve you, they don't pop out of places, they're not the kind of things that are placed well in order to sort of freak you out and unnerve you when they pop out from behind boxes or come down from the ceiling. They just walk at you in a straight line, usually from one direction, just literally like they are now. And it gets to the stage where you see special aliens, for example. There's one, and it's dead, and there it goes. And there's another one, and it just runs into you. There's just contact damage, and then it's a splat. There's no real animation for the attacks. The enemies here as well, they don't really attack you. And if you get on top of a box with a teleport, they can't do anything. So you can just stand there and watch them janking around, knocking about. They can't touch you, they just are there. There's this weird mechanic as well with darkness, where every now and then you'll have this thing where suddenly you'll be plunged into darkness, and that's meant to be a case of you'll see like a noise counter on the left there, bottom left, just like a noise bar. When that gets higher, it means you're more likely, especially during the darkness, to attract enemies and hordes and stuff. There is a stealth mechanic, but I've never used it. But like here, we've changed to nighttime. You know, all the lights have, well, I say nighttime, the lights have failed, and you've got to be really quiet. So here we go. I shoot quite loud. Oh no, a horde's going to come in a second. You'll see it pop up. How does this sound? Yeah, the atmosphere's kind of gone, isn't it? It's not really scary. And then when the lights come back on and you've killed them, you just move on, really. And that's the problem, is that when you use assets like this, if they are assets, I mean, fair play, happy to take it back. If they're not, if you've made these yourself, then they're not really scary, are they? I mean, they don't unnerve you, they don't really frighten you. I mean, here I've teleported back to the base because that's an ability. So I've teleported back, picked up an audio log, okay, I'll upgrade my gear. But the weapons are the same. You know, you don't change weapons. There's no real dynamic changes. You can upgrade bits and pieces via things you find, but, you know, for the most part, there's not really a lot of reason to keep playing. I mean, I didn't really have a blast with it, and that's a shame, because when I first saw this game and read what kind of reviews were out there already, and like I said, I don't always do that, but I like to check when I can, I was expecting something really eerie. It started to build the tension, seemed really good, and then it just fell. And I think that's the thing, is don't be afraid to be sparing with your characters and your enemies. Take your time in regard to your level design, and optimization is quite an important issue. If you need to cut things like filters and stuff like that, do so, because no one will mind, but they will mind when stuff like this happens. So I've just teleported onto a box, the lights have gone dead, and yeah, now for some reason I've not only got this really annoying filter on my screen, but the lights are so bright around me that I can't see. You know, address these problems first. Don't think too much about making things pretty if they're not functional. Take your time. But that being said, it's a good project for one person, and I hope I see more coming onto this game and more improvements in the future, but it's not worth £10 right now. Anyway though, thank you very much for tuning in, guys. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. It really helps out. And head over to nextstepnick.com for all the latest news, or head over to the Twitch at nextstepnick. Anyway, thank you very much, and goodbye!